Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to take a break from the lawn and we're going to talk a little bit about flower gardens. Now, disclaimer, I don't know much about flower gardens. I don't know much about gardening or anything like that. So you're not going to get those types of tips or anything like that from me. However, I have decided to start pursuing that avenue of having a very nice garden to complement my lawn so I can get an overall pretty picture of a yard. Anyway, let's run outside and I'll show you the gardens.
All right, so this area right here does not get any sunlight at all. So basically I've just made it an annual garden. So only annuals go in here. I just try to do the flowers just to get as much color as I can in this area. Now, right here I've just got petunias. Um, just kind of randomly put them in there. No rhyme or reason, just add a little color to the house. Now, as you can kind of see, I don't know if it was from the mulch this year. I bought my the black mulch from Home Depot in the bags, and I've got a lot of these little weeds that pop up everywhere. And I didn't have that last year whenever I ordered my mulch from one of the landscaping stores. So I'm gonna go back to doing that because I am not happy with having to pick all these little weeds out of here. And I know I didn't have it last year, so I'm assuming that's what it's from. But anyway, but yeah, this little square is my annual section. It'll get swapped out as soon as all this starts looking ugly again. And that's just the way it's going to be. I've tried to put perennials in here, and there's just not enough sunlight to sustain anything. Perennial flowering plants. There's just not enough sunlight to get any color. You could do green bushes, but I'm trying to steer away from green. I'd like a little bit of color because, you know, the lawn's green. What do you think, Harrison?
Good.
Yeah.
There's a push me?
On the swing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll push you here in a bit. So over here on this section, what we've done is, so this is facing east, and you can see right down the line right here, we've got all hard shade. Now I used to have the plants back where my son's standing at, and that was too far back. I wasn't getting any color from these azaleas. Very rarely would I get some blooms on it, just not enough sunlight from the red oak, and then I don't know what kind of tree, maybe a Bradford tree. Anyway, the nice thing is my neighbors, they trimmed up their trees, and it really opened up this area to get a lot more sunlight to the garden. So that's been quite nice. Now, I haven't done much. I've done the live edge with the St. Augustine here. So once that starts filling in, that'll look a little bit better. And then in the front, you know, I've just got various petunias. And actually, last fall, I had planted these marigolds and nothing really ever came from them. Well, I had a few of them, had 4 of them that greened up this spring, so I just filtered them in the row here in the front. And then this guy, he was really good. I don't know what happened to him, because I didn't even move him. That's a current position from last year, and he was running really strong. We did have another grassy plant like this, and it looked like this at the beginning of the season, so early spring. It was doing that. As far as turning brown, got a little small white azalea and then another pink azalea. I moved, these bigger azaleas have been moved probably 3 or 4 times just in search of trying to find more sunlight. But like I said, everything's just kind of moved out as far as it can really go just to get that sunlight in so we can start getting some blooms on these plants. All right, over here on the west side, back side of the west side of the house. Now, these bubblegum petunias made it from last year. They just popped up and kept going this year, so I let them stay. I've also just put some pine needles in here that came from that big guy right there. And I think I'm just gonna do that in the backyard instead of doing the black mulch. So I'll start filling that in as well. Same thing with the flower box, just threw some petunias in there and they're starting to get going as well. Now this is a hydrangea. This was in the front yard in that annual box area that I was telling you about, it did not get enough sunlight. So it wasn't in good shape at all. It had just this little bitty leaf on it. And so I dug it up, put it in that pot with some gardening soil, and just been watering it. All right, so this is my back acreage garden. We've got the barn. My wife and I have been talking. I think we do want to do a storage or a shed, pretty good sized shed back here. We don't know if we want to build it in this area or take down that old junky tree, whatever that one is, and put it in that area. So I've got to decide on it. That's why the back garden hasn't had much attention. The garden used to come out to about right here and go back in. The Bermuda is actually starting to spread back up. I've got Moses, the auto mower. You can see some of his line right there. Stopping about this area, and I'm just letting him hit to the spot to show me the line. Now you can see some residual grass in that area right there, but that'll tell me where the mower gets, and then I can put the pine needles in that area and start filling that in. But right here we've just got the tomatoes. This plant produces a pretty yellow flower. I don't know what it's called. Our neighbor down the road from us gave us that one. We threw it in about 8 years ago. It's done well. Had some leftover petunias, and then I've also got some wildflowers that I threw in here. Just wildflower seeds, just to get some more flowers in this area to get the bees in for the tomatoes. And then I got a beautiful blackberry bush. This one's done awesome. Also a gift from that neighbor. Sunflower seeds, or sunflowers. It'll make seeds. But all right, over here we've got a few dahlias that are starting to sprout up, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see how those do. For Cynthia bush, everybody needs that. If you need to know when to pre-emergent, when it turns yellow. And then we've got a row of broccoli. Kids love broccoli, and so that one's been kind of fun to grow in the garden. This section gets a little bit tricky because this is full sun. This is full sun pretty much all day long. Now in the heat of summer, you get the reflectivity of the house. This garden bed gets really hot. And I've actually cooked quite a few plants. As you can see, the east side of the garden, there were no survivors. West side did okay. Got a few petunias, and then that sunshine ligustrum is doing pretty good. But look at this on the back. I mean, you can tell it got cooked last summer, and some of those, or the backside of it, didn't do so hot, but it stayed with us, so that's good. We got it all cleaned up. I've got to get those out. Those never came back with us, and then get a little bit of the Bermuda out as well. And you can see how the auto mower is cutting along that line, so I have to come in with the trimmer right here and then edge right there. But overall, this garden looks really good whenever it's done up. We did pick up a few plants. Now what I like to do is just try to find cheap perennial style. So daylily, full sun. It's big, gets big. Petunias, they do really well. So I got some of those to fill that other side in. And this one I thought was really neat. Cape Plumbago, whatever that is. Full sun. It's got a nice little blue flower on it, so I thought that'd be pretty. What else we got here? Salvia. Those are really pretty. Again, full sun, perennial. Goes down -40 hardy. You're gonna do well. Hopefully you're heat tolerant. And then this firebush down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Perennial as well. And these pretty little flowers here. So these will be good for more of a backdrop to that area. Fill that in, bring the petunias in on the front, and start with that. Might need to put something right here, but anyway, that's just the direction. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you. So that residual Bermuda over there, I bought this, grass be gone. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna try it out, spray on those areas right there to help get rid of some of that residual Bermuda in that area.
All right, so as you can see, these gardens are at the beginning stage of the year. You know, it's early spring 2023. So if you're a follower of the channel, you'll see everything kind of come to life in the upcoming videos of the lawn. Hopefully everything comes to life and it's not dead. But anyway, you kind of have something to base it off of throughout our 2023 season. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, especially comments, because I know a lot of the gardeners out there will probably say, hey, don't put that here, don't put that there. I would love to have those types of comments said to me because I need all the guidance I can on this. But anyway, thank you all so much for letting me share my hobby with you, and we'll see you on the next video.